With the biggest story of the day, and that is the news that DeWanna Bonner is no longer with the Indiana Fever. It was reported last night that DeWanna Bonner had no intentions on returning to the Indiana Fever, and then the news broke today that the Indiana Fever had indeed.
DeWanna Bonner thought she could walk away from the Indiana Fever, ditch Caitlin Clark and the rest of her teammates mid-season, and still have teams lining up to sign her. But reality just hit her like a freight train. The WNBA isn't buying it. Teams across the league are reportedly refusing to even consider her after that shocking mid-season exit. The message is loud and clear: loyalty matters. And now, Bonner is learning the hard way. What we're witnessing might just be one of the most satisfying cases of instant karma in WNBA history. Actions have consequences, and DeWanna Bonner is feeling every bit of it.
She said, "I want to sincerely thank the Indiana Fever for the opportunity to be part of the Fever franchise. Despite our shared goals and excitement heading into the season, I felt the fit did not work out, and I appreciate the organization's willingness to grant my request to move on, particularly at this point in my career. I wish the Fever great success as they continue to build around this dynamic group of young."
Here's what makes this whole situation even more humiliating for Bonner. The Indiana Fever didn't just let her go. They waived her. That means any team in the WNBA had the chance to claim her and pay her full $200,000 salary. And guess what? Not a single team stepped up. She was left untouched, unwanted, and out of options. That's not just rejection. That's a league-wide message.
If another team claims her off the waivers, she gets her full salary. She gets her full salary if another team claims her off the waivers.
That's a lot of money in the WNBA. And you would expect teams to jump at the chance to sign a veteran with championship experience, right? Wrong. The reality is no one's biting.
Thing that makes DeWanna Bonner look really, really bad. It makes DB look really, really bad. And it's the fact that she has told all other teams, other than the Mercury, don't sign her.
Bonner has reportedly told every team in the league, except the Phoenix Mercury, not to even bother reaching out. She's acting like a free agent who can pick and choose her next destination, when the truth is she's seen as damaged goods no one wants. It's a Ben Simmons-style move, sitting out while demanding a trade to one specific team, completely ignoring the fact that she's still under contract. The audacity is unreal. She signed with Indiana, took the paycheck, soaked up the spotlight alongside the biggest story in women's basketball, Grace magazine covers, and played in sold-out arenas. But the moment things didn't go her way, she bailed, and now she thinks she can dictate terms of the entire league about where she'll land next.
And look, I understand it's where she wants to go. Why didn't she go there in the summer? We know why, because she couldn't have got her max contract. And by the way, people are like, oh, they can give her the minimum. No, they can't. The Phoenix Mercury can give her a prorated $80,000 salary for the rest of the year. So she's only going to lose about 30k-ish. And she's going to lose about 40, 50k. Whereas they would have been only able to sign her earlier on. Well, they would only be able to sign her for nothing. Because again, we can't forget as well, the Phoenix Mercury cut Sev Uzen. The Phoenix Mercury have a bunch of players signed on hardships and a bunch of players that they can cut. Like they literally cap space magicked up. And as soon as cap space magics up for the India or for the Phoenix Mercury.
Here's where things get really embarrassing for Bonner. The one team she's trying to force her way to, the Phoenix Mercury, reportedly aren't even sure they want her anymore. Let that sink in. She burned bridges with Indiana just to land in Phoenix. And now, even they're hesitant. Why? Because they're winning games with a young, committed core that actually wants to be there. Why would they risk that chemistry for a 36-year-old veteran who just quit on her team mid-season? From a business standpoint, Bonner's decisions have been self-sabotaging. Had any team claimed her off waivers, she would have kept her full $200,000 salary. Instead, she's limiting herself to Phoenix and likely taking a massive pay cut down to around $80,000 on a prorated veteran minimum. That's over $100,000 loss because she's tried to control a situation she no longer is leveraging. League executives are watching this unfold and asking the obvious question. If she bailed on Indiana when they needed her most, what's stopping her from doing again? In a league with only 144 roster spots, that kind of reputation can be career-ending. What makes this situation worse is that Bonner didn't leave due to a lack of opportunity. She was a starter in Indiana, getting solid minutes and touches. Yes, the team was underperforming, but that's not a reason to abandon your teammates. The entitlement of telling teams not to claim her off waivers and expecting to pick her next stop while under contract is staggering. The timing couldn't have been worse either. Caitlin Clark had just returned from injury, and this was a moment the team desperately needed veteran leadership. Instead, Bonner walked out. Clark had clearly invested in building chemistry with Bonner in the preseason, only to be let down by someone she looked up to. That kind of betrayal can shake a young player's confidence, and it might help explain some of Clark's recent struggles on the court. The comparisons to Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons are fitting, but there's a key difference. Butler was still performing at an elite level, and Simmons was younger with upside. Bonner is 36 and declining, yet she's acting like a superstar with leverage she simply doesn't have. And let's not pretend this isn't personal. Everyone knows Bonner wants to be in Phoenix to play with her partner, Alyssa Thomas. There's nothing wrong with wanting that, but don't disguise it as a basketball decision. And certainly don't quit on your team to make it happen. The way this played out, waiting until Phoenix had cap space, then abruptly bailing, makes it look calculated, even manipulative. Even Phoenix is reportedly unsure about bringing her in, and that speaks volumes. They'd have to cut someone from a working roster and potentially ruin a winning formula to accommodate a player who's now seen as unreliable. Why take that risk? The WNBA is still growing its reputation. If players can just abandon teams mid-season and force their way to preferred destinations without consequences, it sends a dangerous message. Teams build culture and trust, not chaos. Bonner's decision has jeopardized that. And don't let the silence fool you. When players are wronged by teams, other veterans usually speak out. Nobody's rushing to Bonner's defense here, which tells you how her peers feel about what she did. This isn't just a PR nightmare. It's a cautionary tale. Bonner thought she could manipulate the system, but instead, she torched her own credibility. She's going to be remembered less for her accomplishments and more for the moment she quit on her team and tried to call the shots, only to be met with silence. She could have ended up in Phoenix through proper channels if she'd just been patient. Instead, she chose drama over professionalism, and now she's paying the price. The league sees it. The fans see it. And the fact that even Phoenix isn't fully on board tells you everything you need to know. What do you think? Are teams right to avoid Bonner after this mess? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe for more straight talk on WNBA drama.